Yo, 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 yo. What's going on, my fantastic family and friends? It is your boy, Mr. Dominique, a.k.a. the Scorpio King, baby. And I'm right back at you with another episode of Dom's World from right up top. Ba, 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 ba. Y'all know my routine. You got your world and I got mine. So let's get right into chopping it up this lovely morning. Family, I heard a quote this weekend that really hit home for me, and I thought it was just fantastic. It really hit the heart. It really touched the heart. I thought this was a fantastic quote, and I want to share it with my brothers and sisters. So let's get right into chopping it up. Let's talk about parenting. Let's talk about raising our children and how that can turn out for us. All right. So chop. Let's get into it. So the quote I heard this weekend, let me make sure I get it right. It said, raise your children and you will be able to spoil your grandchildren. Stay with me. The quote said, raise your children. If you raise your child, then you will be able to spoil your grandchildren. Spoil your child. If you spoil your child, then you will end up raising your grandchildren. Y'all ain't hearing me. Y'all ain't listening. Y'all, I'm gonna run that back for you one more again, because y'all gotta catch this one. Like, for real, we finna talk about this one, man. You gotta catch this. Brothers and sisters, hear me out. One more again. Let me run it back. If you raise your children, if you raise your child, then you will be able to spoil your grandchildren. But if you spoil your child, then you will end up raising your grandchildren. Are you with me? Do you understand? Is your common sense kicking in? Are you hearing what I'm saying to you, family? This is very important because this shit hits home for me. Chop. If you, as a parent, okay, if you are a parent right now, let's talk. If you have a child or if you have children, I know what it's like to want to spoil them. I get it. I'm a father of 2 boys. I know what it's like to want to spoil them, protect them, and give them everything you never had. Give them everything you've ever wanted and everything they've ever wanted and then some. I know, I get it. And we are a generation, us 80s babies. We are a generation that got our ass kicked when we were children. We got our ass beat. We got whooped. I remember in kindergarten, the gym teacher was still allowed to hit you with a paddle in your hand. I come from that generation, okay? I'm the tail end. I always say the 80s babies, and maybe the 90s babies, we're the tail end of what was golden about the 60s and the 70s. You know, how it took a village to raise a child, how everyone participated in making sure the community was good as a whole. It was a different time. The holidays were all in the air. You know, the feeling of I love you was in the air. You can go anywhere in any neighborhood as a kid and play with any kid. You know, it was just a different time. It was a different time. And during that time, discipline in the schools, discipline in the church, discipline in the house was big. Spare the rod, spoil the child. So people weren't trying to do that. What happened was some people started to get a little carried out of hand and started beating their kids, and it turned into child abuse. And once beatings became child abuse, then here we are now, where you're not allowed to touch your kid in public, or you can go to jail, you can get in trouble, or somebody call us the DCFS on you. You know, but listen, I have a 16 going on 17-year-old boy. Let me give you an example of when I say we as parents, we want to spoil our children, but we have to know how to step back and raise them. My son walks from school to work. When my son gets out of school, he has to walk from school to work. And that walk from school to work is about close to an hour-long walk. As a father, that was hard for me to accept. As a father, just because I love my son, I don't want my son to have to walk from school to work for an hour every day. My 16-year-old son, I don't want him to have to do that. As a father, my first response to that is no, I don't like that. I don't want him walking an hour every day. What if the weather's bad? What if this? What if that? This, that. You start worried about all concerns. That's my child. That's my boy. No matter how old he is, that's my baby boy, no matter what. But I also had to think as a father, I'm here to raise my son. I'm here to raise him to become a young man. And when I was 14, 15 years old, I was walking miles to and from everywhere I had to go. I was catching buses and all sorts of stuff. Metrolink, bi-state. I walked through the craziest neighborhoods just to go to work. I did way worse than what he's having to do. He's got a straight shot from school to work, and he even has a friend that walks with him. So as a father, I had to step back and say, you know what? I don't really like you walking to school, to work from school every single day for almost an hour. I don't like that. But I did my research. I looked at the route that he has to take from school to work. He's on a busy street. He has a friend that walks with him. So once I was able to check the box as far as safety goes. I said, I feel he's safe as he can be, and he's not alone. And when the weather is bad, I always call him and make sure he takes a bigger coat, because these kids don't like to wear coats these days. And I had to step back and just say, you're okay. You're a young man becoming a grown man. It's okay for you to walk. You got this. And because of that walking, it made him even more motivated to save money to get his first car. Like, he's got money saved up now. He's this much closer to having his first car. And I don't know if that would have happened. I don't know if he would have been motivated to get his first car if we'd have been taking him everywhere. I still pick him up, but I'm just saying, for the most part, he walks to work on a daily basis. And he shows up every day. He has not stopped. I love being able to look at my son's work ethic and saying he has my work ethic. He understands what it means to get up and go do what you got to do. I love that about him. As a father, that's how I want to raise him. I want to raise him to become a young man. I want to raise him to not be afraid to walk, catch a bus, or do whatever it is he may have to do. And hopefully when he gets his first car, he will appreciate it that much more. I'm raising my son. And because of me raising him instead of just spoiling him, he's this much closer to having his own car now. And then when he gets his own car, he'll be able to drive himself back and forth to and from work. And I'll probably never have to pick him up again. I know once I started working, my mom never had to spend money on me again, unless it was for a birthday or a Christmas gift or something. I know once I got my first car, my mom and dad never had to take me anywhere again. I was taking them places at that point. When you raise your children, when you raise them, when you step back and let them, fall down and get back up, when you let them make those mistakes and learn from them, when you raise them, part of your job as a parent is to raise them. It's not to just spoil them. Your job is not to just spoil them. It's to raise them to be better than you. It's to prepare them for the world. It's to prepare them to become young adults and go out into the world and conquer the world. You have to raise them. You have to teach them lessons. You have to let them learn lessons. You can't learn the lessons for them. You have to let them learn the lessons themselves. Once my son starts driving, he should be driving from here on out. He should be driving from here on out. Raise your children so that you can one day spoil your grandchildren. Because when they have children of their own, they will do everything for those kids that you did for them. And as a grandma and a grandpa, all you should be doing is loving your grandchildren. You should be spoiling your grandchildren. You shouldn't have to raise them because their mom and dad is raising them like you raised mom and dad. Do you understand how this works? You raise your child, therefore your child will return the favor and raise their child. And as a grandparent, all you have to do is love your grandbabies. My mom doesn't have to do anything for my son. My mom and dad don't have to do anything for my boys unless they just absolutely want to or choose to. But they don't need to because I do. And their mothers do. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? My mom doesn't have to be worried if her grandchild has clothes on his back. My mom doesn't have to be worried if her grandchild has food to eat. My mom doesn't have to be worried if her grandchild is going to make it to school because my mom knows I'm responsible enough to take care of all of those things. My parents don't have to worry about their grandchildren. And my parents stopped worrying about their children years ago. Because we showed our parents that we will be responsible enough to take care of our own shit. And if we come to you, it must be really bad. We must really need your help, which therefore at that point, my parents will open up the doors and help us because we're not in our mom's pockets every day. We're not in our mom's house every day. So if I need my parents' help, they will be more than happy to help me out. Because they'll be looking at it like, when's the last time he needed us? See, at that point, your parents will be more than happy to help you because it'll feel good for them, maybe that you need them one last time. If you spoil your children, which some of you today are doing, you're spoiling your children. You're spoiling your children. You're not raising them. You're giving them everything. You're protecting them from everything. You're not letting them learn anything. You're not letting them fall down and get back up. You're not letting them know what it's like to touch the stove and get burnt. You're protecting them from everything. Now they have children. Now your children have children, and they don't know the first damn thing about raising that child because you did everything for them. Now you're pissed off, Grandma. You pissed off because every time you turn around, she's dropping the baby off to you. Every time she has a problem, she's calling you. And you're frustrated and you're mad and you're like, you grown now. Why are you calling me? It's because you didn't prepare her for the world. Mom and dad didn't prepare baby girl for the world. You didn't prepare your son for the world. Your son is 20-something years old and he don't know how to change a flat tire. He's 20-something years old and he doesn't know, and he's quitting jobs because the boss yelled at him. Let me tell you something. When your grown-ass child, and this is just my opinion, you could be mad all you want to, I'm going to say it anyway. When your grown-ass child is sitting in your house, unemployed, because they quit every job because somebody say something they don't like, or they quit every job because the boss told them that you bring your ass in here late one more time and write you up, and they quit, you ain't raised them right, baby. You ain't raised them right. You got them thinking every time something happens they don't like, they get to quit. They get to run away. You didn't raise them right. You didn't. I had to catch myself. These parents, these grandparents out here, these GGs and mamas, these cool ass grandpas out here that are raising the grandchildren, I want you to know you spoil your children. You spoil them. And that's why you're raising your grandchildren. And no, don't beat yourself up. Don't, hey, it is what it is. But if you're trying to figure out why in the hell I still got these grandkids, I didn't raise my kids. No, you spoiled your kids. And that's why you're raising your grandchildren. If you don't know, now you know. If you didn't know, now you know. You're taking care of your grandchildren because you spoiled your children. But if you so listen to me right now. If you're a parent and you have a child, raise your child. Raise your child. Teach your child responsibilities. Teach your child how to take care of themselves. So when they have kids, they will do the same thing in return. But if you spoil your child, you spoil your daughter, you spoil your son, you protect them from everything, and they go out into the world and they expect their spouse to spoil them too. Single mothers are creating some of the softest damn men I've ever seen in my life. This is a generation of some of the softest damn men I've ever seen in my life. Soft men make hard times. Do you understand what I'm saying to you, family? Soft ass men produce hard times because soft men don't step up to the plate and be masculine when it's required for you to do so. Soft ass men produce hard times in the world. So stop being soft, fellas. Raise your son to be a man, a young man. Get out there and let your boy be a boy, and step in when the baby mother is stopping him from being a boy. You say, let him play. Let him jump. Let him flip. Let him roll. Let him yell. Let him get that shit out. It's called testosterone. And men, but little boys have that. They got to use that. And women are real quick to stop a little boy from being a little boy, but grown women want men. They want men. So when a little boy is being a little boy, that same little boy will one day be a man who's acting like a man. So don't stop a little boy from being a little boy, because you're potentially stopping a grown man from being a grown man. We must raise our children. We must raise our children so that we can one day spoil our grandchildren. Okay? But if you spoil your children, listen to me before I get up out of here. You spoil your children, you're going to raise your grandchildren. I said it. I meant it. I hope you heard it. If you like what you hear, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for all notifications, like and share your boy videos. I'm Mr. Dominique, a.k.a. the Scorpio King, saying peace, one love, stay blessed, keep your vibrations up. Namaste. I love you, and I'm out.